Is one high-pitched driver, that's
Isn't
for
it?
sure. Nice flight to it. I mean, it's 11-ish launch and the spin's not crazy, but it's really, really loud.
All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to take a little walk down memory lane in the first of a new series, old versus new. We've got 3 different heads with us today, and the idea is we're going to go back as far as 10 years. We're going to go as far back as 5 years, and then we're going to look at today's offer. We're going to start with TaylorMade drivers. 10 years ago, Michael, 2014, SLDR was the one.
Apparently. I don't know, I was too young.
What were you using back then?
I was using a
It was a Titleist, whatever it was.
913 and then a 915.
B2, they could have hit it. That's when I first met it. It was horrendous.
I almost bought an SLDR because everyone at the club had one. And I was like, geez, I'm missing out.
So 5 years on from that, 2019.
One of my favorites.
Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
Won the Masters with an M5. It was a decent head. I thought at this point, they got a bit slow on the driver heads. And I'll be interested to see, because this one actually was a tour head. Shout out to our friend Cam Jacobs for dropping this off. Had the CT sticker still on there, 244 CT. So not bad, but a little on the slow-ish side. And then we're looking at Qi10LS.
Nice. Love it.
So a head that we're seeing with some really good ball speed. So it'll be interesting. We're going to see the evolution of TaylorMade's driver design from, I mean, this really changed the game. Remember, sort of loft up, 17 launch, 17
during the
spin.
Open, right?
It was exactly. So, I mean, people were playing 12 degrees aloft to try and get that thing in there.
Yeah.
So we're going to play all at 10.5 degrees, turn to 9.
Okay.
All the heads exactly the same, Mikey.
Love it. All
okay,
right, let's see it.
Start with slider.
Good luck. Okay, Faraz, SLDR. Again, I didn't really hit these back in the day, but looks good right out of the gates. Again, the story of these when released was loft up.
Yeah.
We talked about it earlier. Center of gravity so far forward, you get a little spinny, so that hence the reason guys were, you know, playing 10.5s, or I mean, there were some guys playing 12-degree drivers, and I remember when I heard that, I was like, that's crazy. Dustin Johnson's, what was he playing, like 11.5 degrees or something like that? So still a great-looking driver, nice and clean.
Very deep.
Yeah, very deep.
Really deep in the face, obviously. I remember hearing some of the MOI measurements on this one and hearing that it had about the same MOI as a 975D.
Right, okay.
So the size of the head, so we're in this age of 10K. This was the complete opposite. This was compromising MOI for just sheer distance.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to look at the 3 drivers, and I think the 2 are much more forgiving. The Qi10s, Qi10, sorry, and the M5 are much more forgiving than this. It'll be interesting to see how it shakes out. Were they on the right path with something there? Is that something they should bring back? I hope that's what comes out the old versus new series, is maybe we get to revisit some technologies maybe that were forgotten.
Yeah, cool. Good swing. Very high pitch sound.
Yeah, really pitchy, isn't it?
Be interesting after you go through it, what you like the look, sound, and feel of the most. Obviously, going from, you know, into now the carbon world and stuff like that with carbon face, how much that plays for what you like.
Totally.
Is one high-pitched driver, that's for sure. Nice flight to it. I mean, it's 11-ish launch and the spin's not crazy, but it's really, really loud. I don't want to jinx you, but you're swinging it nicely. Just looks very, doesn't look like you're swinging very fast, and it's pretty quick. Pretty good. Bringing back some memories. Did you drive it like this back in the day?
I don't remember driving it like this back in the day. Pretty consistent, isn't it? I mean, I don't know what I'd done with the first one that spiked the spin. Probably a low strike.
Yeah,
Not bad.
Not bad. pretty cool. Like standard deviation on spin's pretty tight.
Good. I mean, again, that's why I look at that top one, because it's the one that's,
Yeah.
you know, if we disable it a second, like it's
Even better.
pretty good. I will say though, on MOI, that for people to remember, MOI is not just about stability, it's also about ball speed retention. That's a good one to notice because it was a nice looking drive.
Yeah.
But for the where is it, efficiency 142, we don't see too many of those these days.
Right.
At that low for, you know, for me and a fitted driver. So I think it will be interesting with M5 and Qi10 if that's the big difference is ball speed retention.
Little cutty. Not bad.
Yeah.
Okay, and I think this is, I know I called you in. I changed it up today.
Jeez, I really fell over.
Surprise!
Okay. So we're going now.
This is
Did
where
we fall or something?
a little bit of technology has come into play. We have the second kind of version of the Y track or the track in the back. M3 obviously had that. You've got some carbon on the bottom. You've got twist face. And you've got obviously the ports where they were injecting some
speed injections,
some speed magic. So it sits great. It looks. I might take it later.
Let's see. I will need to go something to keep up with old SLDR there though. Oh, quite a good strike.
It sounded good.
Yeah, it did sound nice.
Funny right away with all that carbon added, how much different it sounds.
Yeah, sounds good, doesn't it?
It's a nice flight. Not as knuckly as the SLDR.
No. No, we're seeing a bit of a change in spin and yeah.
Interesting how much this one wants to float, eh?
Just sits up there, doesn't it? And I think it's cool that we're doing this. Obviously, every driver's got the same static loft, but dynamic loft looks to be a little bit higher with this because the CG's back. So how the loft presents itself to the ball.
Good swing.
How much more I'd want to do with my delivery, to be honest.
Your collection of strikes today is impressive. Good strike.
Yeah, high, kind of, maybe just a tad higher in those last few. Pretty much right on it.
All right, Braz.
There we are, we're home now.
We're back.
You knocked me with that. No wonder didn't hit the M5 so good.
Anywho, back into Qi10LS, the gamer.
Like a nice one.
Yeah, a little flatter.
Yeah.
And it sits right in between that launch and spin between SLDR being the kind of the knuckly one and M5 being the spinny one.
That's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah. Better strike.
I mean, I don't know what to, honestly, I don't know what to tell you about the speed. Like that's 116 that feels exactly the same. So I know, like, obviously speed has gone up relative to club head speed.
Yeah.
That was a hair thin. But it did feel, honestly, it feels the same effort.
That's a nice flight. Flatter draw. It's a nice flight.
You ever seen a golfer?
The dreaded straight ball. Come on.
Have you ever seen a golfer who can go as hot as cold?
I didn't say you got cold.
Like
Just your ball position a wee bit changed.
for 5 swings.
I'll show you
10
cold,
swings.
ice cold. Baltic, as our friend would say.
That one felt good.
Good swing. Crunched.
Pop SLDR back on one more time. Like that again, that's back to 113.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just what it is.
QI's definitely got a couple miles an hour out of it, extra.
It's just going. A good strike. Wants to go to the left.
Yeah, really good strike.
Couldn't hit that any better, to be honest. Back to what we talked about with the Bryson video. I mean, that has no business being that far offline.
No.
2 millimeters toe, not even a degree close to face the path. Go to target, face the target. 0.2. Like, that's capital punishment.
Yeah, and it's not like it's a knuckler or anything like that either. It's 2,300 RPMs a spin, so.
Crazy. So I think this is where the evolution moving into twist face was so apparent that if they were going to push the boundaries with the CG, they really had to offset that with some different bulge and roll sort of relationships. One more of this and we'll go back to M5. Like, I have to work at this one.
Yeah, you look like you're trying to sling that so far right to let it kind of stay online.
And I think that's where I think that's why there's a speed difference. Because with Qi10, I feel like I'm, releasing it and I can. With this, I feel like I'm just having to like steer it so much. As good as I can hit this one.
That is textbook right there.
It just doesn't want to entertain that green.
This your year for good driving?
Aye.
That's a good strike right there.
Still fairly low efficiency. Dynamic loft was good. Strike was good for high launch, lower spin. Just doesn't want to spin low. I'm trying to hit that so high in the head. Trying to bring that spin down. As I can do. Okay. Young Guru.
Young Guru, yeah. The that SLDR is really low spin. I said earlier when I went to go lay it down on the table, the thing just sits up so fast because of that CG so far forward.
That's exactly, it's the way the weight bias just pulls it in that direction.
Which makes sense for the loft up. I mean, there were some that, that obviously is the lowest spin of the bunch. But when, like, you hit a couple there that you said that were almost, perfect. You're like, you couldn't hit it any better. And how far, not how far, but how draw bias this driver wants to be or how much left it wants to go.
Yeah.
But when you moved into stuff with a little bit of twist face on it, it really protected the miss or even the good strike. It just stayed online more.
Definitely. So with the 10.5 turned to 9, which is way more of it, right now mine's 9 turned to either depends 7.5 or 8, depending on how I can feel about the face. I mean, it's significantly different in terms of the static loft. If we move into M5, you can see just how much straighter M5 got. And it, kicking the spin up a little bit, ball speed about the same, but yeah, you took a hit on the carry because of that. But I really like the flight on M5.
Yeah, me too.
Thought it was nice. And then you move into Qi10. I mean, that to me is staggering. I've said this a few times, Mikey, and I really truly believe it, that Stealth and Stealth 2 were very much a work in progress from a speed perspective. I think there was some kinks to work out. Carbon wood era in Stealth, Forgiveness in Stealth 2. And then it was like they baked the speed back into it.
Yeah.
So you kind of had the best of both worlds. I mean, for the launch and spin to be where they are at 166 ball, I mean, obviously, ideally, I'm going to get that spin down a little bit and work on my launch conditions, but if I do that, I'm only going to gain more speed.
Yeah.
I'm going up to probably 168 ball if I bring the dynamic loft down a little bit.
You can see kind of, it's cool to do this because you can see evolution of like, what did they do right in SLDR? What did they do right in M5? And then what have they put together in QI10?
Totally.
I mean, like you said, you bring that spin down a little bit on QI10 and you can't argue with that speed. It's tough to beat.
Yeah, I mean, there's the strike. I think, you know, the discrepancy in one being high launch, lower spin, one being a little bit lower launch, higher spin is kind of found right here.
Yeah.
You know, I felt, I can't, honestly, I was trying to explain it, but it's hard to explain how much more comfortable I felt with QI10. Because it just felt like it wasn't a real premium on the strike. I didn't have to strike it as good. With SLDR, I felt like I was walking on a tightrope. Every miss was just so penalised. So obviously, similar distance, but so much straighter with QI10. And then the M5.
M5 was good, just a little short.
Yeah, and the same kind of dispersion, looked somewhat similar, just 12 or so yards short. Didn't have the speed. So I think that's what we want to see from these companies as they evolve. They take things, well, okay, we like that, but we're going to leave that behind. And we definitely said SLDR would have benefited from twist face.
Yeah.
Some of those toe ones I hit that missed way left. I'm trying to see if I can pick that one out that we kind of talked about, but it was...
Your second last one was perfect.
That was that one that missed.
0.5 into out and 0.7
face. That's it. So, like, I'm not going to deliver it better than that. I'm not going to strike it better than that. And if that is the miss...
35 yards left.
35 yards left. I don't want it.
No.
No thanks.
No. Good, like I said, good in certain aspects, but with the help of twist face and obviously the way things have evolved, that QI10's pretty good.
It's right back where TaylorMade would like it to be. And as to be honest, I mean, I'm not even thinking about TaylorMade, and I'm thinking about us. In the fitting, arena, it is back as a genuine contender on speed. I mean, across the board there, it's really good sort of launch standard deviation. I mean, I aspire, to be honest, from a swing perspective, I aspire to move from 9 into 10.5.
Right, okay.
I would love to. If I can kind of be those launch conditions with that speed, somewhere close to that speed, I would play 10.5, not 9.
Interesting, cool.
Because I always feel like I drive it better, more loft. So, guys, I think as we go through 10 years ago, 5 years ago, and today, you can see it. And probably a bunch of you have lived it and experienced it. M5 is a great driver. SLDR was so long. Today's driver is all of the above.
Yeah, I agree. Very cool.
Okay, plenty more companies we're going to take a deep dive into. 10 years, 5 years today. We are going to look at, I believe it is Ping next. We're going to look at the evolution of a Ping. Ping's always been known for their forgiveness, but what they've kind of got today is they've got distance and forgiveness.
Yeah, both.
So dive into that next time. Hope you enjoy the little walk down memory lane. We certainly enjoy reliving our fitting days with both of those, but glad we're in today's product, not the old product, 100%. That's for sure. All right, stay tuned for more, and we'll see you again soon.